You're listening to the ESO Network, your station for all things geek.
Hello? Sean? Sean?
Hi.
Hey. So, we're just... Alright, this is episode 224 of the Rusted Robot podcast, and apparently I'm taking the lead this time.
You are.
Alright.
For a change.
Yeah.
December 2nd, 2018.
My name is Optimus Prime.
Hello, I am C-3PO Human Cyborg Relations.
I am Locutus of Borg. Resistance is futile.
You're like a machine underneath, right? But sort of alive outside?
I'm a cybernetic organism, living tissue over a metal endoskeleton.
You're not quite, human, are you?
No, sir. I'm an android.
These aren't the droids we're looking for.
Counterfeit, facsimile, replica.
We need some sort of robot. Ah, crap! I'm some sort of robot.
What are your prime directives?
Serve the public trust, protect the innocent, uphold the law.
By your command.
Hi, Josh.
Hey, Sean!
How's it going?
Well, first of all, I was supposed to say, hey, Sean, to you, because I'm now taking the lead of this thing.
Yes.
Yes.
Correct.
So
you're going to be the lead on the podcast today?
Probably not.
No?
We're just going to wing it like we normally do.
That's how we operate around here in the Rusted Robot headquarters.
A wing and a prayer, and we're all atheists.
Yes. Are we? Are we all atheists?
No, but it's not really, but it's fun to say.
But are we? Is that what we're going to talk about this week on Rusted Robot?
Well, see, we're all inherently agnostic, because nobody knows for certain.
That's where I've always stood.
Well, it doesn't matter how much you believe, you have to be agnostic, because there is no certainty in life.
That's
faith
true.
is not a matter of certainty, it's a matter of faith.
That's why it's
And
called
therefore, you have to be agnostic. You want there to be God, you believe there's a God, and you believe that the God is this God that you have read about in whatever religious text or holy tomes you've read.
What does God need with a starship?
But you can't be certain.
Nobody can be certain.
Exactly.
There's no way to know.
The only way to know is to meet the said entity, and most of the time you don't get to meet said entity until passing on to the next life and not able to pass that information back this way.
So there's no way to know.
Yeah.
All right. Well, this almost sounds like an episode of Soul Forge. So before we get into that, let's actually do some Rusted Robot kind of pop culture talking and things.
All right.
Are you up for that?
Sure, why not? Let's do that.
It's been a week since we've done that, so I think we're due. When I came to your house today, you were on the floor with your daughter building some kind of Halloween something or other display.
I am 38 years old.
I thought you were 37.
38.
Are you 38?
Close to, whatever.
You're around there.
Yeah. I have not been in high school for 20-something years.
Yes.
I should not have homework assigned to me by a grade school teacher.
Yeah. So you had this Bristol board and a bunch of ghosts and goblins and stuff on this piece of paper, and I'm like, what are you guys doing? And you're like, oh, it's homework. I'm like, you're a month late. But no, in actual fact, it's a project for what your favorite holiday is.
Yes, it's the family's favorite holiday, and the whole family has to help on the project.
Okay.
Which means I've been assigned homework from a teacher who's not my teacher. I'm not in school anymore.
And you're probably older than her.
And
Roughly,
no.
maybe?
No, she's older.
Oh, she's older. Okay.
Yeah.
But it turns out the family's favorite holiday is Halloween.
It is.
Oh, that's cool.
When I was a child, you hit that house that had, gave away way too much candy.
Yeah.
And then that was, what you talked about for the next month.
Look at all this candy I got. I still have some.
No, I went to this house and they gave me 2 full-size chocolate bars, a bag of chips, some suckers, some of those awful orange and black toffees that everybody complained about, but everybody ate them.
And we almost broke our teeth on them?
Yeah.
Yes.
So that was always my favorite thing, is that house. That house was the house that I always talked about.
Yeah.
They also got respect. None of their stuff was ever smashed, because they were the good house. And everybody knew that house is the good house.
And so all year round, they were still respected.
Exactly.
Of course.
My house is the good house. I give out lots of candy.
You do give out lots of candy.
This year I gave out a comic book, 2 chocolate pieces, 2 caramel pieces, 2 hard candy pieces, 2 chewy candy pieces, and 2 pieces of gum.
That's right.
And 2 lollipops.
I do remember you saying that.
So I gave out a lot to each kid. That's my favorite thing. That joy you see when you grab the stuff and they realize, oh, that's all for me, not for the group of people that came.
Right, exactly.
So that's my favorite part. Katie's favorite part is the costumes. I'm not sure what the children's favorite part is. They're supposed to write that down. Right.
Yeah.
I assume it's the candy.
Probably. They're kids.
A lot of the kids like the dressing up too.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah. So, So we got stuck with homework.
Well, that's a lot of
family.
fun. Yeah, of course. And you did a great job on it too, Josh.
Yeah, well, of course. I was always good at presentation pieces.
Ah.
Wasn't good at making the presentation, but was good at the presentation pieces.
Same. Yep. Don't like being in front of people.
Which is ironic considering what we're happening currently right now.
I.e. recording a podcast.
Yeah, we're presenting to the public.
Which will literally go out to millions of people around the world.
Yes.
Even though less than 100 will actually listen to the thing.
Wow.
But the potential audience is there.
The potential audience is almost a billion.
Well, that's true. Because there's lots of people who listen to podcasts all over the world.
Yeah. So long as we break that India market.
That's what I'm planning on doing. I'm going to go on a Rusted Robot World Tour. I've got the banners for it already and the business cards. Now I just need some money to afford the plane tickets to go all around the world. And of course, our listeners can support us by going to patreon.com/DarthVaderloo and putting that money in our account so we can visit them in person.
All right.
You think that'll work?
Probably not.
This appeal to our audience for traveling funds?
I don't think so.
No?
No.
Oh, because nobody has ever donated to our Patreon account, ever. And it's been going for like 2 years.
Yeah, but this is one of the first times you're mentioning it on the show.
I know I've mentioned it before, and I don't do it very often, because I hate when people ask for money on their shows. But I figure if we're going on a world tour, we need to afford it somehow. So anyway.
Just sell a kidney.
Oh, I could do that. I don't know how far that would get me, but...
Pretty far.
Yeah?
You can get a few grand for those.
Well, that's enough for a plane ticket to India. And then I could just hire one of those rickshaw drivers and hand out business cards, and be a lot of fun.
Yeah, there we go.
And I get to see some of the world.
Although I'd go for a sedan chair rather than...
Yeah, because that'd be more comfortable, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe you have to come with me. You have to sell one of your kidneys.
No, I can't.
Why?
I need them.
Oh, okay. But I don't need mine.
Well, you only need one.
I don't think this plan is going to work.
No?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, people should just donate to our Patreon account.
Alright.
Or whatever. Or we just won't go to India. That's fine, too.
Katie really likes Indian food, so,
Well, she could sell a kidney, too, and she can come, too. It could be just a world tour with all the hosts of Rusted Robot. Why not, right?
Everybody giving up a kidney?
Everybody gives up a kidney, and we get to go see some of the countryside in India. We'll go to Calcutta and New Delhi, and that's my knowledge of India. But anyways.
Wow,
I could probably stretch myself and think of more, but we're going off the fly here, and this is all very ad-libbed, so that's it. That's all I got, Josh. That's all I got.
That's all right.
Yeah.
So we'll stop shaming your Atlas knowledge.
That's a good idea. Very wise. Yeah, so where are we going to talk about next?
I think we should go right into trailers because there isn't many, and we'll just clear that up right off the hop.
Yes, because there's not a lot of pop culture news this week. Again, there's a little bit. But here's the trailer for, a mini trailer for Season 2 of Star Trek Discovery, coming to CBS All Access on January 17th.
Captain, asteroid on a collision course. Shields up, red alert.
Starboard impact! 6 seconds.
Discovery, I'm in total free fall.
Detonation confirmed. Get down!
I'm not leaving them to die.
Spock, is that a smile I see on your face?
Yes. Star Trek Discovery returns January 17th.
And there you go. So, Spock is smiling.
Yeah, okay, so, everybody likes to make Spock smile.
Yeah, it's a thing.
Everybody likes to deconstruct Superman.
Right.
Here's the problem.
Tell me what
you
the problem
can't
is.
always do that. You gotta keep the character so that when you do deconstruct them, it actually has import. Because if everybody is making Spock smile, guess what? Spock just smiles.
That's true.
It's no longer, well, he's an emotionless Vulcan who really has to deal with the duality of his nature as both half human, half Vulcan. He's got to really suppress it, unlike his parents who have already suppressed it. See, that's the problem.
Right. Because as we know from the original series of Star Trek, there was a few random episodes where his emotions came to the forefront, either because of spores or something else.
Yeah.
Mind control, whatever it was. But it was rare. And that...
It was too often, I think, even then. You had the Paradise episode.
Yeah, with Leela Kamani.
You had the one where he loses it when he sees Kirk after he thinks Kirk was dead.
Right, that's Amok Time.
Yeah, so like there's a lot of episodes where he just loses emotions. I'm like, come on, guys. Particularly when they focus on it, when it becomes like the story.
Right,
like
that's true.
Spock's feeling.
Mm-hmm.
Like, guys, you knew one Spock's actually feeling episode, maybe two, in your entire 100 episode run. But don't push it, guys. Come on.
And of course, this trailer here is just talking about Spock smiling specifically.
Yeah, like, come on.
Because what they're doing is they're assuming we have the knowledge of all the episodes of before and his backstory and his history. But what if you're brand new to the series, and this is the first time you're seeing Star Trek? Who's the Spock guy? Who cares if he's smiling? What does that matter?
Yeah, it's something that I don't particularly like. I don't really think the Vulcans in this new series are as Vulcan as they should be.
You don't think so?
No. Because what did we see from the Vulcans in the first episode or two?
I don't remember.
Oh, you don't remember the Vulcan children bullying the human girl?
Well, they did that a lot as kids. You even saw that in Star Trek 09 when they were bullying Spock.
You mean the other bad Star Trek?
Well,
where they don't understand the characters and they completely change their ages?
But they also did that, I believe, in the animated series. So that was...
I don't recall the animated series that much.
That's where they got that image from. They lifted it from that.
Yeah, well...
The school pit. Yeah.
The animated series is not really recognized by most people.
It's on the fence. Sometimes it's canon and sometimes it's not. They pull parts out of it.
They pull parts out of it, but...
The whole thing as a thing, I don't know.
No.
I'm not sure.
So, yeah, no. The parents and the adults around just, oh well.
Kids will be kids.
No, because that's not what... Because these kids, you're subsuming yourself into emotion.
Yeah.
That's jealousy, fear, disgust. Those are emotions. Yeah. Those kids would be like, oh, see, you're picking on her, which means it shows that you're displaying your emotions. We're just going to take you and bring you for special training, like they did with poor Tuvok.
He went through a lot.
Right. But, so that is not understanding Vulcan culture.
But all cultures are different, and it's good when we don't have a monoculture. Like, the Klingons are all warriors. The Romulans are all bad guys, you know. But there could be variation, and there's not always, because it's hard to do that in a series.
Well, no, see, the Klingons, I can get behind, because what we see most of the time is the Klingon warrior culture at its warriorist, because we're seeing the military most of the time.
Yeah, you're not seeing the bakers and the butchers and the farmers.
Because, like, there are scientists, there
has to be, or they couldn't have ships.
Well, we see one in the episode where they find the original humanoids. There's
the chase.
restaurateur who's singing opera around
on Deep Space Nine. That's right. Yeah.
So there are other aspects of the culture. We just don't see it as much.
That's true.
Okay.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, Vulcans, they have to have that whole suppressing the emotion thing.
Yeah.
Is a cultural requirement.
But there are dissidents and
there are
perform, like Cybok.
Cybok is a
and T'Pol's mom and those people.
No, they weren't dissidents. They still suppress their emotions.
Right, they just followed different teachings or something.
That was in the early days when there were different interpretations of Sarek's word. Later on, when they had the true word of Sarek, because they had his Kashra.
Sarek. Who? The greatest of all who ever lived on our planet, Captain. Sarek.
So they knew the mind of Sarek, and that mind was being passed on. His understanding was being passed on from High Priest, I guess. I don't know what the title is.
I'm not sure.
But, yeah, that knowledge is being passed on, so the true interpretation could be followed, and everybody follows it. There are some dissidents who are like, oh, we're going to try to integrate our emotions, and we saw some of that.
Yeah.
But they're a small dissident group, not the general population.
True enough.
And if you go in the generic population, everybody, oh, look, bullies, 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 and that's not going to happen in an emotionalist society who's decided to suppress it.
And what's with everybody having the same exact haircut? That would
It's a very functional haircut.
That's not realistic, though.
It's a very functional haircut.
It's very functional, yes. But I don't think it's realistic. Like, all humans don't have the same haircut. Would all Romulans have the same haircut? Would all Vulcan? No, there'd be some variation. There'd be some longer hair. T'Pol had longer hair, didn't she?
T'Pol ended up growing out her hair after she was relieved of command.
Oh, yeah.
Although, remember, again, we see a lot of Vulcans in service.
Right, so maybe it's a service thing.
Yeah.
Standard uniform throughout.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. And then the regular citizens who just have shops and stuff might be...
They probably keep it short, neat, and functional, but...
Because it's logical to do that.
Yeah.
But the Romulans aren't logical, so why would they have all the same haircuts?
Again, we mostly see military people.
True enough. We don't see too many standard citizens.
Yeah, and amongst the citizenry we do see long hair.
Do we?
Yeah, when
Picard and Data went to
Romulus. Yeah, the shopkeeper had long hair that was serving them the soup.
Is that right?
Eat your soup.
Oh, I don't remember. I'd have to see that again.
I'm fairly certain she did.
Oh, probably.
I'm on an 80% certainty on that one.
Yeah. So maybe it's just the military all has a certain like even our militaries do with the
short cropped hair. Yeah.
Yeah, that's okay. That makes sense. All right, I can get behind that. That makes more sense. We just don't see all the various people.
Yeah.
Because planets are big,
and
we deal with
the people that are out exploring,
exactly.
Which tends to be
the soldiers and the diplomats and the whatever.
Yeah. So.
All right, so I think we figured it out.
Yeah.
Because in that trailer, Spock had shaggy hair and a beard.
Yeah. Spock with a beard has its own connotations.
Yeah.
You can't have Spock with a beard.
That was different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Spock with a beard means something.
Yeah. Well, I think he was in stasis or he was in some kind of something or other. Like, not in his regular spot. Because he went to find something or take a leak. I don't know. I'm not sure what's happening. But there's only a month and a half to wait. Are you going to watch it with me?
No.
What? And you haven't been watching the short treks either?
No.
The third one comes out this Thursday, December 6th.
Uh-huh.
It's the Saru episode. And I do believe all the Klingons are going to come over and watch it with me like they have the last two.
That's fine.
We do a
enjoy
Thursday
your
thing.
show watching thing. That's fine.
Also, December 6th is Bishop's 13th birthday.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So
what's he doing?
I don't know.
Hookers and blow?
Probably.
Okay.
He seems like that type.
Yeah, yeah.
Actually, no, he doesn't. No. Dad, that's illegal. I'm not allowed to do that. Dad, do you have a license to drive with one hand on the steering wheel? That's him. He's a super rule follower.
Ah.
He's one of those. So hookers and blow don't seem likely.
Yeah. Oh, well, who knows? Maybe now that he's a teenager, he'll rebel.
That is entirely possible, however unlikely. But it'd be good to see him loosen up a little bit. Maybe not quite that much, but yeah.
All right. That's cool.
That is cool.
All right, so other trailer that we watched, which is...
a Disney production, and it's called Artemis Fowl.
Yeah.
Our world has never been in more danger. Human greed is what drove us underground all those years ago. To escape from your rapacious appetite. I warn you, boy. You are not prepared for the truth behind what you seek. Now you will believe. Artemis Fowl.
So I don't know what this is about. It's got a creepy voice in it.
She's got a good voice. I like that voice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not too sure what this is about either. The trailer does not give you much.
It really doesn't.
Looks like it's another young adult story. Special character, the chosen one.
There can be only one.
Hopefully it's not formulaic like the rest, but I think it's probably going to be.
Well, it's a Disney production, so there's a standard procedure that they follow.
Yeah, but
with variations here and there.
This is more like the young adult novels that we've seen all of them adapted into things trying to make the new Harry Potter.
Is this based on a book, do we know?
In all likelihood. I don't know for certain. Let's look that up.
Let's do that.
If you're loving this podcast, you should tell a friend about it.
Spread the word about podcasts you think they would enjoy. There's something for everyone, from entertainment and lifestyle
To news and politics
and more. Share it on social media. Believe it or not, some people don't know how great podcasts are,
or even how to find and listen to them.
You can help change that with a click. Tell your friends about your favorite podcast.
Thanks for spreading the word.
So yeah, it is a young adult novel series.
Oh, does it say who wrote it?
It is written by, Jon Colfer.
Okay.
Eoin.
That's his first name?
Yeah.
Okay.
Colfer. Young adult story. A teenage genius, Artemis, captures Holly Short, who is a fairy and captain of the Leprechaun.
Oh boy.
Lower Elemental Police Recon.
Okay.
That tells me it's going to be bad.
It sounds bad already.
Yeah. 8 books in the series, though.
Oh, geez. Okay.
So
we could
popular enough.
So we could have like 8 or 10 movies if it does well, because of course the last movie they'll have to split into 2 because that's how they do it to make more money.
Well, yeah, you gotta stretch that out.
Well, yeah, because eight movies aren't enough, so you gotta as many as you can.
So this is looking to be to try to replace the new Harry Potter,
right?
But it doesn't have the first. I've never heard of the book series before.
Me neither. So I don't know. I don't think we're going to go see it.
No. I might send the boy, get his take on it.
Send him for recon?
Yeah.
You're not going to go? You're just going to send him in?
Yeah, I'll just send him in.
Yeah. He's 9?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's fine. Yeah, he can go sit in a movie theater by himself for a couple hours.
Yeah.
Yeah, why not? It's a great idea. So that's Artemis Fowl. The trailer's weird. It's got a funky voice. It doesn't really tell us much. It's based on a book series. And we're not going to go see it.
Yeah, see, they say it's a sci-fi fantasy. Okay. No, you can't have sci-fi fantasy.
You can't?
No.
Why not?
If it has fantasy, it's just fantasy.
Uh-huh.
Because you don't need the sci-fi. Yeah, it might have laser guns in it, but it doesn't matter. Because it still has magic, which means it's fantasy, which means you don't need to explain how the laser gun works.
Well, isn't Star Wars sci-fi fantasy?
No, it's fantasy.
Just fantasy?
Space opera.
Space opera. Because they have magic. Because they have the Force. But they also have cool laser guns and light swords. What do people call them? I know they're lightsabers, but...
Some people call them laser swords.
Laser swords, that's what I was looking for.
Which is what George Lucas called them in several interviews.
Okay.
But that is counter to the narrative and the thing of the story, because you have 2 light swords and you swing them at each other, they're just going to pass through each other.
Exactly, and they don't.
No.
So, would you call it sci-fantasy? Or just fantasy for Star Wars? Because people have called it all kinds of things. It's sci-fi, it's fantasy, it's sci-fantasy, it's a little bit of everything.
I would call it space opera. Clearly it is in the space opera category.
Yes, definitely.
And I would call it fantasy. I wouldn't call it sci-fi.
Not really, because... No.
Because the tech is just magical tech.
Yeah, and they don't explain it. Yeah. It just works.
And a lot of people will go, well, here's how it actually works.
But that's not in the story itself. That's the fans and the geeks and the whatever.
So, yeah, I would call it space opera fantasy.
Yeah.
I wouldn't call it sci-fi. Sci-fi to me means, with enough research, it could be weird.
Right, like in Star Trek.
Or you give them, okay, here's your gimme, go. And extrapolate out from there.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. So, I recently listened to the audiobook, the Bobaverse.
The Boba? Oh, I think you told me about this, right?
Very good book. It has one gimme at the beginning, and that gimme doesn't even break the FTL barrier. Okay. Everything is sublight, except for the gimmes has one little thing that they can communicate faster than light, but they can't travel faster than light.
Okay.
And
that's fair.
That's the gimme.
Yeah, that's all right.
The rest of the book is all based on extrapolating out that technology and what that technology could mean and could do.
Okay, so it's a realistic thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's also very good. I recommend it to anybody.
The Boboverse.
Yeah. The first book is called We Are Legion, We Are Bob.
Yes, you did tell me about this on a previous podcast. I remember that now.
Yeah.
And I never looked
And that is a good example of good sci-fi. You throw fantasy in there. I enjoy sci-fantasy or space opera fantasy.
Yeah.
Or fantasy with laser guns in it. I have no problems with that. I enjoy those. But you can't call it sci-fi. Those are distinct categories, I think.
I think so too. Yeah.
And while everybody who's listening to this is a sci-fi fantasy nerd,
Yeah.
or at least fan, you got to separate them.
You got to keep them separated.
Yeah.
It's true.
And like the Marvel movies,
Yeah.
up until the inclusion of Doctor Strange, were sci-fi.
Yes.
Sci-fi. Doctor Strange shows up, it's all fantasy now.
But they mixed it well.
Oh, yeah, I enjoy it. Don't get me wrong. I'm looking forward to the next ones.
Yeah.
But, meh.
You know what? Now is a good time to play a trailer for another podcast here on the ESO Network.
We are the Metal Geeks Podcast, and on this show we have heavy metal, comic books, video games, movies, theme parks, and more.
Wait. Comics?
Yep.
And movies?
Exactly.
Video games?
Yeah.
Metal?
Of course.
How does theme parks fit in this?
It just does. All of us Metal Geeks can be found at metalgeeks.net.
At Metal Geeks for Twitter? Metal Geeks on Instagram.
And Metal Geeks on the Facey Space. You can also find us on iTunes. Subscribe today.
Metal Geeks.
And that was a trailer for another podcast here on the ESO Network, which I did not play for you in advance.
No. See, I thought we fixed this problem, Sean.
You know what? We did. I was going to just play the same promo as I did on this week's Soulforge podcast, but it's about 16 minutes into that episode, and I wasn't going to play 16 minutes of the Soulforge.
You can't just skip ahead?
I probably could, but I didn't even think about it till just now, and I might play a different trailer. So, I don't know. It's all in the editing.
Well, last week's trailer was an interesting trailer, and I checked out that podcast.
And how did you find it?
I'd rate it in the high 8s.
Oh, very nice. I believe that was a trailer for the Earth Station 1
Yeah,
podcast.
the flagship.
itself. Yeah, the flagship show of the podcast network.
The enterprise of the network.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Yeah,
But-
that Mike, he's a good podcaster.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
now I can't comment on this week's because I didn't get to hear it.
Because I failed.
You failed.
I'm sorry, Josh. Can you ever forgive me?
Probably not.
Oh,
I'll remember this until the day you die.
well, I'm not dying.
You are today.
Oh, are you going to kill me because I didn't pre-play the podcast promo?
You're dying right now, Sean. You're dying right now.
Am I?
You are.
A little bit inside.
Yep.
Maybe. Hey, and speaking of people who have died, I was just looking on Facebook, and apparently George Bush Sr. passed away today or yesterday at the age of 94. The first President Bush. I know that's not pop culture, but I was like...
No, he's pop culture. He was on The Simpsons.
Right, exactly. So that works. That ties in very nicely. And, yeah. So I was like, oh, wow, geez, okay.
Yeah, that's, I'm going to say sad.
Well,
So, as a president, he wasn't that great of a president.
Isn't he the guy that puked on the Japanese prime
Yeah,
minister
but
or
that's
something?
being sick. That they made a big deal out of something that wasn't that important. He wasn't feeling well. He went to a function, shouldn't have eaten. He ate.
Right.
Problems, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, that story always like, so what? He got sick.
It happens.
Yeah,
People get sick.
yeah. It's not he insulted them. How did he insult them? He was sick, right?
Yeah.
Everybody understands.
Well, the press always blows things out of proportion.
But he was a one-term president.
Yes.
Generally, people that are one-term presidents are considered failures.
Right.
Because they only got one.
That's it. Couldn't do two, could you, buddy? Oh.
No. Because like, they got in and they're like, well, I don't know. This guy didn't work hard enough so far.
Right. Because, we had him for one term, and then we had, Clinton for
Clinton,
two,
yeah.
and then we had Bush Jr. for two,
Yeah.
Obama for two, and now we're in the middle of Trump season.
Yeah.
And hopefully he only gets one.
Hopefully he only gets half. Hopefully they Nixon him out.
I don't know. Who could say what's going to happen? I haven't heard the latest. I've been kind of out of it.
So Paul Manafort,
Yeah.
right? He's
a bad dude.
Yeah, and he testified, right, for a lighter sentence. Well, it turns out he lied.
Uh-oh.
And they can prove that he lied.
Okay.
So they're bringing more charges against him.
Uh-oh.
So he's going to try to cooperate more fully.
Oh, he's going to try.
Yes.
Okay.
Which means, that tells me you can cooperate more fully. You weren't cooperating fully.
Right.
So, yeah. And the Deutsche Bank, which is one of the few institutions before this election that would lend money to the Trump organization, because he's gone bankrupt so many times, because he is not a good businessman.
Right.
If your business goes bankrupt, you weren't good. They recently got raided, and they were raided in Europe.
Okay.
Where Trump can't just go, oh, sorry, no, we're just going to let all this go away now. So they might find stuff proving,
dirty dealings.
Because Deutsche Bank is known through the Panama Papers to be laundering money.
Ah, okay.
And they're one of the few people that lend money to Trump.
How do you know all this stuff?
Because I pay attention to the news.
Okay.
And then also, Deutsche Bank was one of only 2 institutions that had access to Trump's private server at a location. I don't remember exactly where. But like 80% of all contact came from Deutsche Bank.
Oh boy. So there's some shady dealings going on, and it's going to get found out.
And since they can't come at it from this side, because Trump won't let them come at it from this side, the European police are like, well, this stuff is crime, so we're going to investigate it. And oh, look, we can look into what they're doing on that side. So, yeah, things are spiraling in.
Good. It's about time, because he's a dirty, dirty guy. And I recently learned about Paul Manafort from the podcast called Behind the Bastards, where they talk about some of the worst people in history and their dealings behind the scenes and stuff. So that's where I first heard that name. And that's a pretty good podcast. Have you checked it out? Have I told you about it before?
No, I don't think you have.
Okay.
Is that on our network?
No, I think it's on the How Stuff Works network.
Okay.
I don't know, but I just discovered it because I was listening to Movie Crush, which is a guy who interviews people about their favorite movies. And then they always play promos for other podcasts, much like we do. And Behind the Bastards was recently starting, and I'm like, that sounds interesting. So I learned all about how Hitler was a big fan of young adult fiction, and I think it was Stalin who was he wrote smut books, or there was something like that. I can't remember all the details anymore, but a lot of weird stuff going on. And they've been talking about Alex Jones and Paul Manafort and all those guys.
Yeah.
So I learned some stuff through podcasts, and it's very interesting.
All right, cool.
Yeah. So we
that's
also
a weird political side.
Yeah, this has kind of been a weird podcast. First we talked about God, and now we're talking about politics.
Well, we didn't talk about God. We talked about the human lack of certainty.
Right.
Because whether God exists or not is not something that can be determined until after death, in which you can't say because you're dead.
Right, exactly.
So there's the uncertainty. So everybody is agnostic. It's just how agnostic, in which way are you? So,
You know what? I think this would make an excellent Soulforge podcast, like I mentioned before. I'm going to have you on for that episode. You haven't been on Soulforge yet, and you're due. Hey, it's Sean from the Soulforge podcast. Join me and the gang as we guide you through the adventures of living. Topics include sex, loss, joy, and stupid things we've done for love. It's life, the universe, and everything. Find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, the ESO Network, SoulForgePodcast.com, and everywhere else you find podcasts. The Soulforge Podcast. Let's find out together.
All right.
Not today, mind you, but one of these days we're going to do that. But anyway, speaking of George Bush and his passing, we also lost Steve Hillenburg, who was the creator of SpongeBob SquarePants, and he was 57.
So that's
pop culture for you.
That is pop culture, and SpongeBob is very popular.
Yes.
Particularly amongst the meme crowd.
Yeah.
So that's a blow to meme culture?
I suppose so. I can't stand SpongeBob. He drives me crazy. And Bishop absolutely loves him.
So you were a parent when he was in his heyday.
Oh, yeah. I remember taking my stepdaughter, Dakota, Bishop's older sister, to the SpongeBob SquarePants movie with, what's his name, the Hoff. David Hasselhoff. So I actually went into the theater to see it. That was mind-numbing.
So, yeah, see, that's why you particularly despise it. I have never watched more than 30 seconds of that show in one continuous set.
I'm jealous.
Although, at this point, I'm fairly certain I've seen the entire series in frames.
You probably have.
Because I've seen a lot of meme frames.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's lots of those. And, of course, they have Barnacle Boy and what's-his-name, who are a Batman and Robin ripoff.
Batman and Robin / Aquaman.
Yeah, because they're under the sea, of course.
Hello, boy.
What's going on, Damien? Do you want to say hello to the podcast world?
Hello. I was throwing my garbage out.
Oh, good job. Okay.
Side. So, yeah. It's sad, and I feel sad for his family. I was unaffected by his material.
No, me either.
Well, you were.
Well, I was, but not in a positive way. But no, everybody loves it, and I've seen it, and it's not a horrible show. It's just they're always yelling, and I can't stand shows where they're always yelling. It's not my favorite.
All right.
So moving right along.
Hi, this is Admiral Adama, Battlestar Galactica, saying you're listening to the Rusted Robot Podcast. Think about it.
Now seems like a good time to talk about casting news, Josh.
So, everybody's jazzed about the upcoming show, The Mandalorian.
Yeah.
So, Nick Nolte has been somehow connected to the project.
Is that right?
Yeah. But here's the thing.
Uh-huh.
Nobody knows what he's doing because they haven't said a dang thing.
Yeah, I didn't know till just now.
So, that's all we know is that Nick Nolte's involved somehow.
Okay.
And it's like, okay, that doesn't help us in any way.
He could be like an old professor-teacher kind of trainer guy.
He could be that. He could be just a random old guy, a bartender at the cantina where everybody goes to.
Oh, I could see him doing that.
He could be selling death sticks to everybody.
Ooh, death sticks. I haven't had any of those in a while.
He could be a Jedi Padawan who was rejected and left the Order. Mm-hmm. Who knows? Right?
The possibilities are endless, Josh.
So, yeah, that's literally all they have to tell us. And it's like, well...
He's going to be on the show.
Why did you put it out now? Couldn't you investigate and find out more information?
Possibly.
But then again, we're reading it and passing that information along to our viewers, listeners.
Yeah.
With very little information as well. Probably less than the person that put it out in the first place.
More than likely.
No. So there's that.
Okay, that's cool.
DC's upcoming Stargirl series has added Yvette Monreal from The Fosters and Faking It, and Christopher James Baker from True Detective to his cast of undisclosed DC characters.
Undisclosed.
More
information of we have nothing.
Exactly.
Okay.
Literally all we know is that at least Stargirl's going to be in it.
Oh, we hope.
That's it. That's all we know on that one.
Yeah.
And a cool aside, all of Buffy and all of Angel is currently available on Facebook Watch for free.
What is Facebook Watch?
I have no idea. I'm assuming it's a Facebook streaming app.
I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
All of it.
I've not seen any of it.
Really?
Like, I've seen random episodes of Buffy when people have been watching it, but I've never followed the series.
It's a good series.
Well, yeah.
It has its ups and downs. And it is written for teenagers.
Of course.
But even that, it's a very good series, and I enjoyed it when I was younger and I watched it.
Well, I always thought about watching it, but
the last season gets kind of rocky.
Okay.
Because they really didn't know how to end it, because they really should have ended it much earlier. And then they had another really great spot to end it. And then they had another really great spot to end it.
And they didn't.
And they had another great spot to end it. And now they just kept going.
Oh.
And then they're like, oh, crap. We've done almost the end of the world 7 times. What are we going to do now?
Can't really top that,
I don't know.
can you?
The Hellmouth opens? Sure, yeah, let's do that. All right.
Okay. Well, that's cool casting news. Now we should switch over to comic book news. I wish we had a comic book expert here to fill us in.
Yeah, I got nothing. Katie's not here, so that segment's going to pretty much be empty.
For new listeners to the show, Katie is your wife?
She is.
And where is she?
She's at Jump City Comics right now, where she owns the place.
Oh, right. The comic book shop here in Timmins.
Yeah. I'm looking at 38 Pine Street, North Timmins, Ontario, Canada.
In the 101 Mall.
Yeah.
Right.
Lower level.
Yes, Unit 106, I believe.
Correct, Unit 106.
If you come out of the glass elevator, you turn left.
Correct.
Who doesn't like a glass elevator, Josh?
A lot of people.
Really?
I had a woman have a panic attack because she didn't realize there was a glass elevator.
Oh, she thought it was all wide open?
No, she didn't realize that the elevator was a glass elevator.
Okay.
So when she got into the elevator and then looked up and the doors closed, she just held onto the handle rail and just couldn't do anything.
Oh.
So I had to
coax her out?
Yeah. Okay. It's okay, man. I ride this thing 100 times a day. It's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Just look at the front. You'll be fine.
Yeah, pretty much. So not only does your wife work in the 101 Mall, so do you.
Yes. I am the maintenance man. I fix everything that is broken in that place and then things that aren't.
Yes. Yes. I've heard many of these stories. You're a good guy. So anyway, basically what we have is no comic book news, but we do have comic book related TV and movie news, such as the Venom movie. You have not seen it.
No, I have not seen the Venom movie.
Okay.
I refuse to see the Venom movie.
Okay, I saw it, and I thought it was fine. It was all right. It wasn't great. There was too much CGI, but really what could you do with a Venom movie? You couldn't. But it's breaking records all around the world at the box office. It's surpassed Wonder Woman.
Which is insane.
Yeah, because Wonder Woman is a fantastic movie. Far superior to the Venom movie.
It is the best movie so far in the DC universe.
Yes.
That they've had in this newest batch.
The new batch.
Yeah.
Wasn't that Critters?
No, that was
Gremlins?
Gremlins
and New Batch.
Gremlins 2, the new batch.
Ah, yes, okay. But yeah, so Venom, it's doing great. Apparently Aquaman is getting all kinds of good reviews as well, and that comes out soon.
Yeah, so I expected Aquaman to be good to really good.
Mm-hmm.
Everything I heard is Venom is okay
Yeah, that's
to
it.
bad.
Yeah, it was fine. Is the best you could say about it.
But this happened with the Transformers movies.
They make a fortune.
They make a giant fortune over in China, and then we get 27 of them.
Right. Yes.
With 12 different spin-offs.
Yeah, true.
And it's like, no, stop it. This is bad. Don't you see? This is bad.
Yes, it is. Oh, speaking of movies, last weekend I took Bishop to see The Grinch.
Okay, and?
I kept expecting and waiting to hate it. But I enjoyed it. Yeah, it wasn't the classic 60s, but it was similar. It had a little bit more nuance. It was fun.
Okay.
I recommend it for children of all ages.
How does it compare against Jim Carrey's The Grinch?
I don't know if I've seen that all the way through in one sitting, but I didn't care for that one. This one was animated, and yeah, it was fun. I give it a good 8, good solid 8. If you want to take your kids to it, definitely go ahead.
All right. I'm not a fan of The Grinch.
No?
No.
I always thought he was the hero of the show. I could relate to him.
Until he betrays you at the end?
Yeah. And he turns nice. No. But it was fine. It was good. We all enjoyed it. So there's that. But speaking of comic book stuff, I'm having a seizure here, and I can't quite remember what I'm going with. Oh, Marvel and Netflix. That's what it was. So they just canceled Daredevil, so there won't be a season 4.
So yeah, this signifies the end.
It does.
Yeah, they're not going to be continuing any of them. They
No.
got Jessica Jones in production and
Punisher is wrapped. So
wrapped.
Yeah.
Okay, I thought it was in pre-production.
No, it's already been filmed according to the article I read. So we are going to get Punisher season 2, and we'll get Jessica Jones season 3, and I'm guessing that's it.
That's it. So yeah, because like this latest season was fantastic of Daredevil.
That's what I've heard. I haven't even finished Iron Fist yet, so I haven't gotten to Daredevil.
Skip Iron Fist.
Well, I'm more than halfway through. I've been busy lately.
Too busy to watch comic book shows?
Come
on, Sean, you can't be that busy.
Josh, there's a new lady in my life, and we've been spending a lot of time together.
Okay,
so
I do not want to make this into a Soul Forge episode, because we've talked about this.
Yeah.
And yeah.
But I've been busy, so I haven't been consuming my pop culture like a good boy. So.
All right.
Yeah.
That's
all you got?
That's all I'm saying on that regard.
Okay.
So, yeah, this is kind of coming already. We kind of knew when they canceled
Luke Cage.
Luke Cage, all right. They're like, maybe there's something with the actors. The guy wanted way too much money. Maybe there's something like that going on in the background. But because you never know.
You never do.
Right. But then they canceled
Iron Fist.
Iron Fist, and it's like, this seems like a pattern. Everybody's like, well, no, Iron Fist didn't do well in the first season. Yeah, but the second season did well. A lot of people liked the second season. I didn't, but a lot of people really liked it. And it's like, this has potence of things coming because Disney's launching their own service and they don't want to compete against themselves in the market.
That's right. 2019 has Disney Plus,
and now we lost Daredevil, which is the flagship of the set,
which was everybody's favorite one.
Yeah.
So,
other than the second half of the second season, it's been solid. And now they brought they brought Wilson Fisk back. And as a character, he is the William Faulkner there. What's his name?
Who? What?
Wilson Fisk.
What about him?
What's the actor's name?
Oh, Vincent D'Onofrio.
D'Onofrio, that's it. He's a fantastic actor. He brings that character to life. I really think he might think he's Wilson Fisk.
He might.
Yeah, because he
inhabits the character really well.
Yeah, fantastic actor.
Yeah.
Everybody loved it. Everybody raved about it. Then they cancel it.
Yeah, of course.
So this just tells me we're going to get these two, and then it's done. And one of two things going to happen. They're canceled on Netflix.
Yeah.
And picked up by Disney.
Right.
Or they're just gone. They're lost to the ether. They were never truly linked to the rest of the MCU.
Just very vaguely with some references here and there.
References, but no actual... Like, nobody said Thor. Nobody said Captain America.
No. I think they said the big green guy.
They said the big green guy once.
Yeah.
The incident.
Yeah.
Right? And everyone refers to it as the incident, not that time that giant fucking alien ships
slammed into the
city, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Like these giant whale alien things flying through the thing, attacking the city. That'd be kind of the thing that everybody mentions.
You would think so. It'd be all you'd be talking about.
Yeah,
but they
not
the incident.
The incident. Oh, whatever, man. I'm busy working at the coffee shop.
Yeah. Yeah.
Come on, man.
No. And the article I read said maybe they'll get picked up by the MCU, but I can't see that happening.
They didn't integrate enough. They didn't mesh with the rest of the MCU.
No, and they're very TV-like. So could Buddy, Luke Cage, and Iron Fist have like a Marvel standalone Heroes for Hire movie? I don't think it would really fit into the whole cinematic universe.
No, particularly where they left them.
Yeah, exactly. So,
but because like you need Danny Rand to be broke, and you can't have Luke Cage as a crime boss. That's just like, what were they thinking there?
Pretty good series. I would like to see like more seasons of them, but we're not going to because everything good ends. It's very sad.
The only one that I'm really sad about is
Daredevil.
No, Daredevil I enjoyed and it's really good and it's always consistently in the top.
Yeah, Punisher. I really like Punisher.
I really wanted them to continue on Punisher because I think his first season had too much filler.
Hey, this is Dr. Trek, Larry Nemechek, and you're listening to The Rusted Robot with Sean and Josh and the Rust.
Yeah, so his first season had too much filler, but he had a lot of potential in that.
Yeah.
And they didn't live up to the potential, but you saw what was there.
There was a lot of good DNA.
And I'm hoping the second season flushes that out and fills it in. And then maybe we'll get a really good second season.
That'd be nice.
But then it's gone.
Yeah, there was gone.
And they're wrapped on it, so any cliffhanger they left in place we're screwed on. Which is another thing that aggravates me is when you know that's not continuing, and they go, oh, and here's the cliffhanger.
Yeah.
It's like, well, why did you set anything up? But we know because they didn't know it was going to be canceled.
No, that's right. But there was gone.
Yeah.
So that's sad. And I came across something the other day talking about Neil Blomkamp's RoboCop Returns, and Peter Weller will not be reprising the role of RoboCop.
Well, that's fine. How old is he now?
Oh, he's in his late 60s, if not 70s.
Yeah.
So
maybe get a younger guy that kind of looks like him.
But it is supposed to be RoboCop 25 years later.
Yeah, but the skin is over a synthetic head.
Yeah.
It's fine. You can get a younger actor, because really, he's not much of a face.
It's mostly just his cheeks.
Well, even with his mask
and
off.
His mouth? Yeah, his mouth too.
Everything below the nose.
Yeah, that's right.
And you take the rest of his face, even with the helmet off. That's a lot of makeup, anyways.
Makeups, prosthetics, yeah.
You can make anybody who's remotely kind of looks like him look like him.
That's true.
So it's not that hard, so long as they do the single most important thing: make him look like RoboCop.
Yes.
Make him move like RoboCop.
Yes.
Like Peter Weller had a real distinct way of moving.
Mm-hmm.
Do that.
Yeah, you gotta
watch the 3 films back to back to back to back to get how he moved.
Well, Weller was only in the first 2, not the third one.
Then the guy in the third one was
Yeah, the third one is something that we don't really talk about too much around here.
It wasn't bad.
It had a lot of fun with the androids and the flying and the stuff.
Yeah, but alright, whatever.
Yeah.
So the first 2, watch the first 2 back to back to back to back.
Yes.
Watch how he moves. See how he moves, because that's important.
It is.
You nail those mannerisms, then you're fine.
But Neil Blomkamp is doing it, and I love his work, so that's great.
He's the one that does everything for $1.5 million, right?
Yeah, he did District 9, he did Elysium, and he did Chappie. He's pretty cool. And he almost did Aliens, but he didn't, so...
No, because...
Ridley Scott had to get his hands back in there, so...
Yeah, he had to get his hands back in there and improve the lore.
Yeah, that's what he did. For sure. All right. So that's our weekly roundup of pop culture news.
Hello, I'm Daniel Peter Hitch, author of the Connected Worlds Chronicles and the Bubbles the Pirate children's book series. You're listening to the Rusted Robot Podcast. Think about it.
Do you have anything else?
Not really.
No, there hasn't been a lot going on. We probably won't have a podcast next weekend, and we won't have one after that because next Sunday I'm leaving for Cuba for a week, my first ever international vacation trip. So I'm excited about that. I leave Sunday morning at 5 and I don't get back till 8 o'clock the following Sunday night. So that's 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Where we won't be able to record an episode. Maybe on Saturday. It's possible next Saturday to do it. But we have my new lady friend's staff party and then we leave for the trip. So yeah, it's hard to say.
You might have to do a raw episode, unedited.
Yeah, it depends on...
Well, we could probably do it on a Friday.
Possibly.
Because, I'm stuck at... This is, maintenance stuff. But I'm stuck at the mall because for Friday Night Magic. Every Friday at Jump City.
That's true.
And come record there, and then you could edit on Saturday.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Set it out then.
It's quite possible.
Yeah, we'll get one next week.
Well, we're definitely going to try, because we don't like to go too many weeks without an episode. So.
And we're out of fillers, eh?
We still have TMNT 2, but this week is running out, so I don't know if I'll have time to edit anything in. It's one of those kind of things where there may be an episode, there might not be, I don't know.
All right.
So
well, we'll try.
We'll see what we can do. If not, there won't be anything for 2 weeks, and we'll be back the following week, and we'll see what we can get for you guys then. So, in the meantime, tell us how you think we're doing. Send us emails so we can talk about stuff on the show. therustedrobot@gmail.com. And, of course, follow us on Twitter and all that other good stuff. Check out all the episodes of all the different podcasts on the ESO Network, but especially the SoulForge podcast at soulforgepodcast.com. And until next time, remember.
And remember, if quantum physics is true, there's an infinite number of universes where I'm dating Emma Watson.
You have been listening to the Rusted Robot Podcast. To contact the show, email therustedrobot@gmail.com or tweet us at therustedrobot. Join the Facebook page and group and visit the website at therustedrobot.podbean.com. The Rusted Robot Podcast was put together by Sean and Josh and the Rusty crew. Please remember to check out our other show, the SoulForge Podcast, visit Jump City Comics in the 101 Mall, and leave a glowing review in your chosen podcast app. Thank you, and have a geeky day.
The Rusted Robot Podcast. Think about it.
There's no easy way to sugarcoat this. Steven Hillenburg has died. In March of last year, it was revealed that he had been diagnosed with ALS, a terminal disease affecting nerve cells in the brain. While we all hoped for a miracle and that he would pass through this, unfortunately today it was announced that he's gone. I'll be honest, most celebrity deaths don't affect me too much because while they're sad, I usually just continue my day without it being completely ruined. But Steven Hillenburg's in particular is one of the worst I've experienced in a long time, mainly because his work has been so close with me through my childhood and honestly continuing on to present day. As you probably know if you watch a bunch of my SpongeBob videos, I love this show and nothing about it would have ever existed if it weren't for Hillenburg. You could tell in the very beginning when he was crafting the idea of a sponge living underwater with lots of other sea creatures, he really had a ton of passion for the fictional world. If you didn't know, he was actually a marine biologist and really wanted to make this cartoon.
He comes into my office and he sees this comic book that I created when I worked at the Marine Institute. It's called The Intertidal Zone, and it's basically to teach about tide pools. It started me thinking, if I'm going to do a show, I would do it about these invertebrates and these crazy animals that exist in the ocean.
Bikini Bottom is filled with positivity and spawned out of Hillenburg's incredible imagination, feeling like a completely unique place that almost felt real. When its first few seasons were airing all those years ago, the popularity was absolutely insane, and for good reason too. SpongeBob was a rarity in the world of cartoons because it appealed to everyone, whether you were a young kid watching in the mornings before school, or maybe a parent who sat down to check the show out. It seemed like people from all ages could find enjoyment in SpongeBob's nautical adventures. Genuine happiness could be felt from seeing our favorite sponge and starfish go through dumb but hilarious situations, or just watching the amazing rivalry between Mr. Krabs and Plankton. Hillenburg created this iconic cartoon, and as the years went on, almost everyone would recognize the name SpongeBob. We are incredibly saddened by the news that Stephen Hillenburg has passed away following a battle with ALS, Nickelodeon said in a statement. He was a beloved friend and longtime creative partner to everyone at Nickelodeon, and our hearts go out to his entire family. Steve imbued SpongeBob SquarePants with a unique sense of humor and innocence that has brought joy to generations of kids and families everywhere. His utterly original characters and the world of Bikini Bottom will long stand as a reminder of the value of optimism, friendship, and the limitless power of imagination. Okay, moving on from this death is going to be hard, I'll admit, but we have to remember how much of an impact Hillenburg had on not just the world of animation on TV, but on all the kids of each generation throughout the last 20 years who grew up with the show. SpongeBob was and is truly something special. Stephen Hillenburg may be gone from this world, but the series is still very much alive as his legacy will continue. I don't know how long it'll keep going with new episodes, but the best thing we can do right now is to recognize the amazing man Hillenburg was while also keeping his legacy going. Even if the show ends in the next few years, the character of SpongeBob and everything the series stands for, I think will be incredibly iconic for generations to come. Thank you for what you brought to the world, and rest in peace.
This has been a broadcast of the ESO Network. Be part of the crew and help support our shows by donating to our ESO Patreon or by shopping through Amazon.com or the TeePublic store, which can all be found at www.esonetwork.com. The ESO Network, your station for all things geek.